There are books that, from the moment you touch them, you feel the cold breath of the forbidden. The Book of Jubilees is not merely a collection of pages. It is a doorway into a profound darkness where time is no longer linear, and truth is distorted by unseen mysteries. Who wrote these words? Who dared to preserve them? No one knows. There is only a vague sense that what lies ahead will challenge your reason and may forever alter your soul. Each word in this book feels like a cursed fragment, guiding the mind into the hidden recesses of reality, places where light dares not reach. You may not believe it, but why does your heart race when those ancient characters appear before your eyes? These secrets are not waiting to be revealed. They are waiting to claim you. Are you ready? Or are you merely another part of what this book intends to uncover? Note, this is only part 1. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you won't miss the thrilling parts to come. In the silence of the vast desert, where only the howling winds and the blazing sun scorch the earth, a towering mountain rises, shrouded in mist, like a wall dividing the mortal realm from the divine. This is Mount Sinai, a place of timeless sanctity, where the sacred and the human intersect in moments that altered the destiny of all humankind. The legends surrounding Mount Sinai are not mere folklore but symbols of divine power, harsh judgment, and ultimate redemption. Here, one of the most mysterious and magnificent events unfolded, where a mortal man, Moses, entered the blinding light of God and returned with decrees that transcended the bounds of time. In the first year after the Israelites' exodus from Egypt, the Lord summoned Moses under the scorching desert sun. "Come up to me on the mountain, and I will give you the tablets of stone with the law and commandments I have written, so that you may teach them." This command was not merely an instruction but a call from the universe, a divine directive guiding not only Moses but an entire nation. Answering the call with courage and reverence, Moses began his ascent, stepping into the dense clouds that cloaked the summit of Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai was enveloped in thick darkness for 6 days, as though heaven concealed something too profound for mortal eyes. On the 7th day, from within the cloud, a blazing fire erupted atop the mountain, radiant and mysterious. The glory of the Lord appeared as a consuming fire, obliterating every shadow of doubt and disbelief. Before this awe-inspiring sight, humankind could only bow in absolute reverence. Moses ascended further, stepping into the midst of the fire, where he remained for 40 days and 40 nights, listening to the very words of God. During this time, God revealed to Moses the entirety of human history, from the world's creation to the day his sanctuary would be established among the Israelites. His words spoke not only of days of glory, but also of the dark times to come. They will turn away from me, forget my commandments, and follow strange gods, gods that cannot save them in their time of trouble. This prophecy, chilling in its precision, sent shivers down the spine. In the blazing firelight, God revealed his intricate system of time, a history divided into weeks, each lasting 7 years, with 7 weeks forming a jubilee. Every event and detail was ordered with perfect precision, as though the fate of humanity had been preordained. Was this how God governed all things, from the destiny of humankind to the movements of the stars? This system of weeks was not merely a method of recording history, but also carried profound predictions. Within each cycle, events are repeated, emphasizing that everything unfolds in an unending spiral of history. Modern scholars have attempted to decode this system, but the deeper they delve, the more entangled they become in a web of numbers and symbols, as though trying to grasp the will of a being far beyond human comprehension. But the Book of Jubilees does not only speak of prophecies about history. It unveils haunting tales of fallen angels, divine beings who betrayed God and mingled with the daughters of men. From this union arose giant, evil beings who wrought chaos and sin upon the earth. They will be destroyed, declared the Lord, but not before they leave an indelible scar upon the world. This narrative, though mythic in tone, reflects the eternal battle between good and evil, light and darkness, within the human soul. Amid this backdrop, God's prophecy was not just a warning, but also a judgment upon Israel, a people destined to betray their sacred covenant. I will hide my face from them, deliver them into the hands of the nations as captives, prey, and to be devoured. These words were not merely condemnation, but a reminder that no human action escapes consequence. Yet even in the harshest pronouncements, a glimmer of hope remains. God promised that when Israel turned back to Him with all their heart, He would gather them again, establish His sanctuary among them, and grant them eternal peace. I will build my sanctuary among them, He declared, and I will dwell with them forever. This promise was not just a divine commitment, but a symbol of forgiveness and hope, a testament that no fall is irreversible and redemption is always within reach. But it did not end there. Moses, who had heard the most chilling prophecies, knelt and prayed for his people. "Have mercy on your people," he implored, "and create in them an upright spirit." In the shadow of judgment, Moses' prayer shone like a flickering light, a reminder that faith and hope endure even in the darkest moments. As Moses knelt atop the mountain, the light of God's glory enveloped him, radiant and consuming like an eternal flame. In that sacred space, the Lord spoke to Moses, "They are my people and my inheritance, whom I delivered from the hand of Egypt with great power. But I know their stubbornness, thoughts, and rebellious hearts." These words were not merely an observation. They were a warning about the frailty and fallibility of mankind. God foresaw that Israel would not perfectly adhere to His law. They would stray, succumb to the temptations of the surrounding world, and forget their sacred covenant. But disobedience was not the end. In the dazzling light of judgment, there was always a path to atonement. They will not obey until they confess their sins and the sins of their fathers, declared the Lord. But when they turn back to me in all uprightness, with all their heart and soul, I will create within them a holy spirit and cleanse them, so they will never again turn away from me from that day forward forever. This promise, though simple, carried boundless comfort, like a light piercing the deepest darkness of the human heart. In that sacred moment, God revealed His plan not just for Israel, but for all humanity. He spoke of a day when every soul and every angel would know that Israel is His beloved children. "I will be their Father, and they will be my children. They will all be called children of the living God." This was not merely a promise. It was a covenant written in divine light, etched into the hearts of all who trust in His power. In that sacred moment, God revealed His plan not only for Israel, but for all humanity. He spoke of a day when every soul and every angel would know that Israel is His beloved children. "I will be their Father, and they will be my children. They shall all be called children of the living God." This was not merely a promise. It was a covenant inscribed with divine light, etched into the hearts of those who trust in His power. But God's revelation did not end with the present or the near future. He took Moses back to the very beginning of all things. He said, "Right from the beginning of creation to the day my sanctuary is established among them forever. From the moment the heavens and the earth were formed, every detail bore divine significance, as fragments of a grand design understood only by God." He commanded Moses to record every phase of history, every testimony, and every jubilee so that humanity would never forget that all things operate according to His plan. Within these prophecies, God mentioned the sanctuary to be built in Jerusalem on Mount Zion, a holy place where his glory would dwell forever. Jerusalem shall be holy, and from its healing, peace and blessings shall flow to all the chosen of Israel. That vision, brimming with vitality and hope, serves as a message that God's light not only illuminates the present, but also leads toward a future where all suffering ceases and every soul is renewed. To ensure that the Israelites would not forget his decrees, God sent his angels to record his entire plan, from creation to the renewal of heaven and earth. Write it all, he said, so they will know that I have not abandoned them, even in their times of rebellion and sin. The divisions of Jubilees, weeks, and years of release were inscribed not just as a timeline, but as a reminder that every event and every moment in history is orchestrated by his sovereign hand. Yet, no matter how sacred this history, it could not prevent human failure. God knew that Israel would turn away from him. They would raise idols, build high places, and even sacrifice their children to wicked forces. They would forget his commandments and laws, plunging into the world's corruption. I will hide my face from them, God said, and they will be scattered among the nations. But he would not let darkness reign forever. When Israel returned to him with all their heart and soul, God promised to gather them, like a father who never abandons his children. That promise was not reserved solely for Israel, but extended to all humanity. When the time comes, he said, I will dwell among them, and all creation will be renewed. In his vision, a perfect world would arise where there would be no more suffering, no more separation, and all creation would live in harmony under his light. The story of Moses on Mount Sinai is not merely part of religious history. It is an eternal reminder of the nature of humanity and the mercy of God. It teaches that no matter how far humanity strays, God always opens a way for them to return. Mount Sinai, with its eternal flame upon its summit, stands as a symbol of power, but also of forgiveness and hope. The words of God echo through the centuries, reminding us that redemption is always within reach if we turn back to him with all our hearts. And so, this story, written with light and sacred fire, will never fade. It lives on, not only in the memory of the faithful, but also in the pulse of all humanity, as an everlasting covenant between heaven and earth, between God and man. When all was completed, an eerie silence blanketed the universe. But within that stillness was not an end, but a preparation for a new era. At this time, order and chaos, light and darkness would clash, placing humanity at the center of the cosmos, not merely as beneficiaries, but as stewards and bearers of responsibility. Among the wondrous creations and great powers God bestowed, humanity's freedom and capacity for choice became the final piece, both a gift and a trial. But could humanity, fragile by nature, maintain harmony with the divine? Or would they lose the light and fall into the embrace of darkness? In the primordial dawn of creation, when darkness and light were undefined, an infinite power brought forth the universe. Before humanity understood time, space, or life, a divine hand orchestrated all, sketching the first outlines of existence. 6 days, only 6 days, but each day carried immense works of wonder, pieces that together formed an unimaginable world. At the pinnacle of this creation, God established a great sign, a testament to his perfection, the Sabbath, a day sanctified for heaven and earth to praise the glorious works of the Creator. A celestial messenger stood radiant atop the mountain, conveying God's words to Moses, record the entire history of creation, a command but also an invitation to unravel the deepest secrets of the universe. On the first day, heaven and earth were created, not merely a division of space but a foundation for all existence. On that first day, God also created fiery spirits, angels of darkness and light, thunder and lightning, and the seasons of winter, spring, summer, and fall, all appointed to serve before his throne. The universe was no accident. Each detail was meticulously designed and imbued with life by his infinite wisdom. On the second day, God created the expanse, dividing the waters above from the below. These waves of space, some ascending to the heavens, others descending to the earth, marked the orderly arrangement of the cosmos. This act was not merely functional but a declaration that all things, from the smallest current to the vast heavens, belonged to him. Yet the work of the second day, wondrous as it was, served as preparation for greater things to come. The third day began with the separation of water and dry land. At God's command, the waters receded, revealing fertile ground. Rivers carved their paths, lakes and seas gathered, and on the dry land, vegetation sprouted, seeds germinated, fruit trees blossomed, and Eden, the purest expression of beauty, began to form. This was not merely life, but the first connection between earth and heaven, humanity and the Creator. On the fourth day, God fashioned the sun, moon, and stars. He set them in the heavens, not merely to illuminate, but as signs for days, nights, months, years, and appointed festivals. The sun, the great light source, not only dispelled darkness but ensured that all things on earth, from plants to humanity, would prosper. In the sun's light, darkness was driven away, and a cycle of unending abundance began. The fifth day brought a mysterious turning point, creation of living creatures. From the depths of the oceans came great sea monsters and enigmatic beings of the deep. Fish, birds, and all flying creatures were formed, given life by the universe's first breath. Before this new life, the sunlight shone as a blessing upon everything, from the smallest creature in the waters to the tallest tree on the land. On the sixth day, God created land animals, from gentle livestock to powerful wild beasts. But the crowning achievement of all creation was humanity, a man and a woman made in his image. To humanity, he gave dominion over all, the earth, the seas, the skies, and every living creature within them. This was not merely an act of creation, but a divine entrustment, a sacred responsibility given to humanity, who would become stewards of all that had been made. As the sixth day ended, all things in heaven, on earth, and in the depths below, in light and darkness, were complete. But God did not stop there. He bestowed a great sign, a testament to his perfection, the Sabbath, the seventh day when all creation was called to pause and honor the Creator. "You shall keep the Sabbath," the angel conveyed God's words, "for it is the day I have set apart for myself, and I will set you apart as my people, separate from all other nations." But not all nations were given this sign. God declared, "I will take for myself a people from among the nations, a people who will keep the Sabbath as a testament that they belong to me." The Sabbath was not merely a day of rest. It symbolized the divine bond between God and his chosen people. From that moment, Israel was named the chosen nation, blessed not only on earth, but also in heaven. In 6 days, God created 22 kinds of works, each reflecting his omnipotence and infinite wisdom. Yet, above all, he established a perfect order, a universe that operated according to a plan only he could fully comprehend. From the first light to the gift of the Sabbath, everything was prepared to exist in harmony. The Sabbath, a sign, a testament to the eternal covenant between God and Israel, the lineage chosen by him from among the nations. From the veiled eternity, the voice of the Creator resounded, not merely to command, but to inscribe the sacred meaning of the day, the seventh day, the day when all creation bows in praise of the one who formed all things. I have chosen the lineage of Jacob from among all I have seen, God declared, and I have named him my firstborn, sanctifying him for myself forever and ever. These words were not merely a proclamation, but a declaration of divine ownership. Jacob, the forefather of Israel, was not only chosen as the heir of the covenant, but also as the representative of an entire people, a people sanctified, blessed, and entrusted to guard the most sacred gifts bestowed by God. The Sabbath, the seventh day of the week, is not merely a day of rest. It is the imprint of the Creator upon the flow of time. On this day, no work is permitted, for it is a day set apart for praise, holiness, and rest in the light of God. He made the heavens, the earth, and everything within them in 6 days, and on the seventh, he rested. This rest was not born of weariness but completion, a declaration that all was finished. Thus, he sanctified the seventh day, elevating it above all others so that not only humanity but also the angels would revere and observe it. Yet not all nations were blessed to keep the Sabbath. In his infinite wisdom, God reserved this day for Israel, a people set apart from all others. The Creator of all things has blessed this day, the angel conveyed. But he did not sanctify all nations and peoples to keep the Sabbath, only Israel. This declaration reveals a profound truth. While the world continues its labor, only one nation can rest, eat, drink, and sanctify the day in divine peace. Those who defile the Sabbath will face a certain punishment, eternal death. God left no ambiguity. Proclaim and declare to the children of Israel that they shall not do any work on this day. They shall not bear burdens through the city's gates, draw water, or prepare food. All must be made ready on the 6th day. These are not mere rules but reminders that the Sabbath offers an opportunity to cast aside worldly concerns, step into sacred light, and renew the bond with God, a bond that only He can bestow. From the time of creation to the establishment of the Sabbath law, 22 patriarchs, from Adam to Jacob, walked differing paths yet shared a common destination, the perfection of the Sabbath. In 6 days of creation, 22 works were completed, culminating in the sanctification of the 7th day. This number, 22, holds undeniable mystery, representing a perfect balance between order and the divine. These works were not created merely to function, but to serve God's sanctification and to testify to His absolute power. The Sabbath is not observed only on earth. Before humanity's flesh existed, the angels of heaven kept the Sabbath in glory and reverence. On this day, all creation, from fiery angels to spirits of wind, paused to worship and praise the one who brought them into being. When Israel was chosen to keep this day on earth, they entered the flow of sacred history and became part of an eternal covenant linking heaven and earth. This glory, however, comes with peril. Those who desecrate the Sabbath, whose hearts go astray, will surely be uprooted from the land. This is not merely a threat, but a truth engraved within the covenant. The Sabbath is not just a day, it is a sign, a testament to the bond between God and His people. If defiled, that bond is broken, and darkness will consume the light. In the sacred stillness of the Sabbath, when all labor ceases, an extraordinary atmosphere descends, not mere tranquility, but the presence of an indescribable power. Those who keep the Sabbath will be blessed, and those who do not will face God's wrath. It is an everlasting law, an unchanging testimony given to Israel to observe through all generations, like a flame that never fades in the world's darkness. Thus, the Sabbath is not just another day of the week. It is the soul of time, the rhythm of the universe, and a reminder that no matter how far work carries humanity, God remains present, awaiting their return in holiness and light. In the deep shadows of history, the Sabbath shines as an eternal lamp, guiding those who remained faithful to his covenant. When light and darkness were still absolutely divided, and heaven and earth had just been shaped, a mysterious and tragic story began. The story of Adam, Eve, and their fall into temptation. On that primordial land, within the Garden of Eden, everything bore the mark of the divine, yet carried the shadow of destiny. God, in his infinite power, created all the beasts of the field, livestock, birds of the air, and every creature that moves on land and in water, bringing them before Adam to name. Each creature, each name, held deep meaning, yet Adam remained cloaked in solitude. Among thousands of paired beings, he stood alone. It is not good for man to be alone, God declared. From Adam's rib, he created Eve, the first woman, the mother of all humanity. When Adam awoke from his deep sleep, he recognized her immediately. "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh." These words were not merely an acknowledgement, but a prophecy of the eternal bond between man and woman, a bond sanctified in Eden. They lived together, tending the garden, unashamed of their nakedness, as though innocence and purity were an invisible garment shielding them. But in the second month of the 8th year, darkness approached. The serpent, harboring deceit and malice, came to Eve. "Did God say, 'You shall not eat of every tree of the garden?'" it asked, its voice like a chilling wind piercing the soul. Eve, in her innocence, replied that they could eat from all trees except the one in the midst of the garden, for God had warned that they would die if they ate from it. The serpent, with cunning and enticing words, countered, "You will not surely die. God knows that the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like him, knowing good and evil." The temptation was overwhelming. Eve, captivated by the fruit's beauty and the allure of its prohibition, reached out, took it, and tasted its deadly sweetness. She then offered it to Adam. When Adam ate, their eyes were opened, and their innocence vanished. For the first time, they realized their nakedness, and in shame, they sewed fig leaves together to cover themselves. Yet their coverings could not hide their betrayal. God, who sees all, pronounced curses upon them and the serpent. "On your belly you shall go, and you shall eat dust all the days of your life." He decreed to the serpent. To Eve, he declared, "I will greatly multiply your sorrow and conception. In pain, you shall bring forth children." To Adam, he said, "Because you have heeded the voice of your wife and eaten from the tree I commanded you not to eat. Cursed is the ground for your sake. In toil, you shall eat of it all day." These curses not only altered the fate of Adam and Eve, but also that of all humanity. On the day they were driven from Eden, Adam offered a fragrant sacrifice, incense, galbanum resin, and other spices, as a plea for forgiveness. But the gates of Eden were closed forever. The curses extended beyond Adam's family to all creation. That day, the mouths of beasts, livestock, and birds were sealed, and they could no longer speak. A world once united was now fractured, with every creature going its separate way. Adam and Eve departed Eden and began a new life in Elda, where Adam named his wife Eve, the mother of all living. Yet they did not immediately have children. Only after the first Jubilee did they experience the joy and burden of parenthood, a joy intertwined with heavy responsibility. Adam, who once tended God's garden holily, now toiled and endured thorns to survive. But even in their loss, God did not abandon them entirely. He gave Adam and his descendants laws to follow, guiding them to live righteously as they once had in Eden. These laws, such as the purification rituals after childbirth, were not merely punishments but opportunities for humanity to grasp the sanctity they had forfeited. The story of Adam and Eve, the fall and the curses, is not merely the story of the first couple. It is the story of all of us, weakness, temptation, and consequence. Yet, it is also a story of hope. Though cast out of Eden, humanity was given the chance to begin anew, to live, work, and seek forgiveness in the light of God. Darkness can never fully triumph, for within each person remains a spark, a memory of Eden, waiting to be rekindled once more. In the profound darkness of history, where divine light intermingles with sinful shadows, a story both tragic and enigmatic was inscribed. It is the tale of the first humans, of life bestowed and death decreed, of relationships woven between mankind and the divine, and of the inevitable consequences of their actions. All these were recorded on the heavenly tablets, where the sacred testimony of human generations is preserved from the beginning to the day of judgment. In the third week of the second Jubilee, Eve bore Cain, the firstborn of humanity, a promising start, yet ominously shadowed. Soon after, in the fourth week, she bore Abel, followed by Alwan, the first daughter. Life seemed peaceful, but in the first year of the third Jubilee, Cain stained his hands with blood, murdering his brother Abel out of envy. Abel's blood cried out from the ground to the heavens, accusing Cain of his crime. God cursed Cain, condemning him to wander the earth under eternal judgment. From this moment, a sacred law was etched onto the heavenly tablets. Whoever murders his neighbor deceitfully shall be cursed. In their grief, Adam and Eve mourned Abel for 4 weeks. Yet even in the deepest darkness, a glimmer of hope arose. Adam knew Eve again, and she bore Seth, regarded as the replacement for Abel. From Seth, a new lineage began, a continuation of humanity on earth. In the 6th week, he fathered Asherah, who would carry on the family's legacy. Cain, despite his curse, continued to build his life. He took Alwan, his sister, as his wife and fathered Enoch. Ultimately, Cain built a city, naming it after his son, as a testament to his earthly presence. Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she bore 9 sons. This is a seemingly benign statement, but buried within those ancient words are dark secrets and the fateful connections binding humanity to forces beyond their understanding. This primordial journey is not just the story of humanity's growth, but an interplay between the divine, the mortal, and the unnamed. When Seth, Adam's son, entered the 5th week of the 5th Jubilee, a cryptic point in history, he took Asherah, his sister, as his wife. Their union marked not only the joining of 2 individuals, but also the first step in a chain of extraordinary events spanning generations. In the 4th year of the 6th week, Asherah bore Enos. In his cradle, a whisper began to echo across the earth. Enos called upon the name of the Lord, awakening entities that should have remained forgotten. Over the long years, Adam's lineage grew through intrafamily unions. Such marriages might seem coincidental to ancient customs, but they wove a mystical veil over generations. Kenan, the descendant of Enos, was born on a cold night during the 5th week of the 3rd Jubilee. It is said that his first cry mingled with another sound, not of man, but of angels whispering from distant realms. Kenan grew up and married Muleth, his sister, on a full moon night in the year 395 AM. Their son Mahalalel was born, and the heavens glowed with stars shifting in peculiar patterns. Ancient accounts recall these as signs of intervention from the Watchers, celestial beings who descended to earth to instruct humanity's children. Yet, were they truly teachers or hidden invaders? Mahalalel grew under the watchful eyes of these celestial entities. They taught him not only righteousness, but also revealed mysteries of the cosmos. When Mahalalel married Dinah, a woman of divine lineage and descendant of Barakiel, they bore Jared, a figure remembered as the bridge between humanity and heavenly beings. Jared was no ordinary man. In his time, the Watchers became more prominent than ever, leaving an indelible mark on the earth. The story of Jared unfolds as a sad yet majestic epic. He witnessed the Watchers impart forbidden knowledge to humanity, how to observe the stars, measure days, and unlock secrets previously unknown to mankind. But with this knowledge came chaos. These celestial beings blurred the lines between divinity and humanity, giving rise to the Nephilim, half-human, half-divine giants of extraordinary strength but immense peril. In the 11th Jubilee, Jared married Baraka, a woman whose eyes seemed to hold the depths of the night sky. During the 4th week of that Jubilee, Baraka gave birth to a remarkable child named Enoch. Even as a boy, Enoch stood apart. He was intelligent and gifted with dreams of astounding clarity. Visions he recounted with uncanny precision. Enoch became the first to record the signs of the heavens, inscribing them in what would later be known as the Book of Enoch. This book described the unimaginable heavenly realms, angels, and apocalyptic visions. Enoch also introduced the first calendar, dividing time into seasons and sacred days. Yet, his most extraordinary gift was his ability to see the future. In one dream, Enoch foresaw the entire destiny of humanity, from its humble beginnings to the final day of judgment. In the 12th Jubilee, during its 7th week, Enoch, chosen by heaven, married Edna, the daughter of Daniel. In the 6th year of that week, they had a son, Methuselah, a name that echoes through legends as a pivotal link in the predestined timeline of humanity. For the next 6 Jubilees, Enoch was no longer an ordinary man. He dwelled among the angels of God, learning knowledge that far exceeded human understanding. The laws of the sun, the movement of the stars, and the mysteries of heaven and earth were revealed to him. In the silent vastness of the cosmos, Enoch recorded all that he saw, knowing his writings would become an eternal legacy for humanity. Yet his mission did not end there. When Enoch beheld the deeds of the Watchers, angels who had abandoned their heavenly abode to unite with the daughters of men, his heart grew heavy. From these unholy unions were born hybrid beings who unleashed chaos upon the earth. As a divine witness, Enoch condemned the Watchers, marking the end of his life among mortals. Enoch was taken from among the children of men, and the angels led him to the Garden of Eden, a place of majesty and mystery beyond human comprehension. There, he recorded the judgment and the decrees for the world, exposing the sins and wickedness of mankind. His writings served not only as testimony but as a warning. All generations will face their judgment. Then came the flood. God unleashed his wrath upon the land of Eden, sweeping away every trace of sin. Yet amid the darkness, a torch of hope continued to burn. On the holy mountain, where Enoch once burned incense in the sacred temple, a promise was made that the earth would be sanctified, and all sin and impurity would be cleansed in a new creation. Sacred places such as Mount Sinai, Mount Zion, and the Garden of Eden became symbols of redemption, where divine light would never be extinguished. Meanwhile, Methuselah grew and married Edna, the daughter of Azrael. They had a son, Lamech, who bore an unprecedented burden. The world had changed. Darkness weighed heavily as Lamech married Betinos, the daughter of Barachiel. During that week, a child was born, and Lamech named him Noah. That name carried a fragile hope. This child will comfort us in our toil and labor. Yet the trials did not end there. At the close of the 19th Jubilee, during the 7th week of the 6th year, Adam, the forefather of humanity, passed away. All his sons gathered to bury him in the land where he had first walked. But Adam's death was more than an ending. It was a haunting reminder that he could not reach the full 1,000 years, a single day in the testimony of the heavens, because the curse had fulfilled its decree from the moment he ate the forbidden fruit. Cain's fate soon followed. In that same year, his house collapsed upon him, ending his life. A strange yet poetic justice prevailed. Cain, who had killed Abel with a stone, met his end beneath the stones of his dwelling. On the heavenly tablets, this truth was inscribed: by the instrument with which one kills his neighbor, by that same shall he be killed. The Jubilees passed, but darkness persisted in its grip on humanity. On the 25th Jubilee, Noah married Zara, the daughter of Rachel. From this union came 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Their names carried profound significance, symbolizing not just new life but a testimony to a world on the brink of a great flood. In Noah's dreams, vast waters seemed ready to engulf everything. In reality, humanity continued to sink deeper into depravity. Yet amid the chaos, Noah, steadfast in his faith, began constructing a massive ark, a beacon of hope amid the coming storm. History, with its blend of legend and warning, acts as a mirror reflecting humanity's flaws. But will these testimonies be enough to awaken mankind? Or are they merely echoes from the past, awaiting another cycle of sin and redemption? The stories of Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, and Noah are more than historical accounts. They are reminders that life and sin, light and darkness, forever coexist. And as darkness rises again, who will stand like Noah or Enoch to ignite hope in the storm? In the darkness, humanity often seeks light, yet few realize that it is within darkness that the deepest truths are concealed. We fear what we cannot comprehend, avoiding the unseen but ever-present. However, perhaps the greatest lesson lies in accepting darkness as an inseparable part of life. The story of the lost souls and the watchers from the Book of Jubilees serves as a reminder that every light casts a shadow. In the corruption and judgment, there are lessons about the limits of power and the consequences of defying the forbidden. Humanity cannot escape the darkness, for sometimes it is the only place where truth resides. Darkness is not the enemy. It is a lesson, a challenge that forces us to confront ourselves. In its terrifying silence, you will see who you truly are and understand that without darkness, light would never shine as brightly. And sometimes, it is in the shadows that you discover meaning. Please subscribe to our channel to enjoy more captivating Bible stories from us.